She thought he was her dad, a churchman, a father, a man who tucked her into bed. Until the truth. The worst serial killer in Kansas history. Her world shattered overnight. But what happened next shocked everyone. Wichita, Kansas. Mid-1970s to early 1990s. A peaceful town. Families with kids. Sunday sermons. One of those families, a modest ranch-style house. A little girl, her brother, a dog, a treehouse in the backyard. The father respected. Church president, Cub Scout leader, Air Force veteran. The daughter carefree. Innocent. She was born in 1978. But beneath the calm, a horror was unfolding. Subscribe if you want the full truth. We post daily, never miss a case. Life was simple in Wichita. Kansas suburbs, 1980s. Red brick houses. Swing sets in the backyard. Pickup trucks in driveways. It was the kind of neighborhood where doors were left unlocked, and you always waved to the mailman. Carrie Rawson's childhood looked like anyone else's. Her dad, Dennis Rader, was a regular guy. Worked for the local compliance office. Took the family camping. He taught her how to fish. Folded church bulletins on Saturdays. A little strict, sure, but she loved him. Trusted him. Idolized him. She'd walk to school with her brother. Come home to dinner on the table. Mom at the stove. Dad in the recliner reading the paper. Holidays were picture perfect. He even built her a treehouse with his own hands. Said she was his little girl, always protected. But not everything added up. Sometimes he disappeared for hours. Said it was work. Sometimes he came home, different, cold, detached. There were sudden bursts of anger. Like when her brother spoke out of turn, Dennis slammed his fist on the table, hard. No one dared question him. Still, Carrie never imagined anything dark. Dad being dad. Meanwhile, unknown to her, terror stalked the city. Women were dying, found bound, strangled, murdered in their homes. The killer called himself BTK, bind, torture, kill. He wrote letters to police, mocking them, describing every brutal detail. And then, silence. For years, Wichita exhaled. The city began to forget. Carrie grew up, went to college, fell in love, started building a life. But her dad stayed close, always watching, always calling. He walked her down the aisle, smiled in wedding photos, held her hand when she cried. A father, a good father, at least that's what she believed. Until one winter morning in 2005, a knock on the door. 2 FBI agents. Grim expressions. They asked her questions she didn't understand. About her dad, his DNA, his whereabouts in 1974. That's when her world cracked. She looked them dead in the eye and said, "You've got the wrong man. My father is a good guy." But the truth? The truth was far worse than she ever imagined. January 15, 1974. Wichita wakes under a thin layer of frost. Quiet streets. Empty sidewalks. Kids scraping ice off windshields, groggy from winter break. Inside a modest home on Edgemore Street, the Otero family is starting their day. Joseph, the father. Julie, the mother. 2 of their children, Joseph Jr., 9, and Josie, 11, moving slow, still in pajamas. They don't know a stranger is watching from the trees. Breathing steady. Gloves on. Rope in hand. He cuts the phone line. Breaks in through the back. He tells them it's a robbery. Says he just wants the car. But he's lying. Every word rehearsed. Every move planned. He forces them into the living room, ties their hands, their ankles, their necks. Julie pleads. The kids cry. Joseph fights. But it's no use. Minutes later, all 4 are dead. Strangled. Slowly. Deliberately. Josie is left hanging in the basement. She was 11. The killer takes souvenirs, a watch, a radio, a Polaroid, then vanishes. Later that day, the 3 older Otero kids return from school. They find the front door unlocked. The silence is strange. The house too still. Then the screams begin. Police arrive. What they see inside is unimaginable. One officer reportedly vomits on the front lawn. No sign of forced entry. No fingerprints. Just horror. And rope. Lots of rope. A note is found nearby. A message from the killer. Signed. BTK, bind, torture, kill. The city panics. Parents double lock their doors. Gun sales spike. The news runs constant updates. And then, it happens again. 9 months later, October 1974. Catherine Bright, 21 years old, attacked in her own home. Strangled. Stabbed. Left to die. A survivor, her brother, escapes. Tells police the man was calm, calculated. Smiled before attacking. as if he'd done it before. Over the next 17 years, more victims. Shirley Vian, Nancy Fox, Maureen Hedge, all killed the same way. And yet he disappears between killings. No pattern, no fingerprints, nothing. BTK becomes a ghost. But back on the other side of town, he's at Little League games, leading Boy Scout meetings, praying in pews, tucking his daughter into bed. The killer wasn't in the shadows. He was in plain sight. The Wichita Police Department was overwhelmed. 4 people murdered in cold blood. No suspects, no witnesses, no motive. Then BTK started writing letters. To newspapers, to television stations, detailed confessions, diagrams. He described every binding, every torture, every kill. He wanted credit. He demanded attention. In his own twisted words, he told police, "The code word will be, bind them, torture them, kill them BTK." He signed it like a brand. For investigators, it was a nightmare. He was methodical, controlled, careful. Every murder left fewer clues than the last. No DNA, no prints, no clear pattern. And then he vanished. In 1979, BTK went silent. No more letters. No more killings, at least not that they could prove. For a decade, detectives chased ghosts. A task force followed every tip. Interviewed hundreds. Nothing. By the late 80s, some believed he'd died, or moved away, or been arrested for something else. In 1991, the last known victim, Dolores Davis. Same MO, bound, strangled, left in a ditch. Then, silence. Again. Years passed. The task force disbanded. The case went cold. But a few detectives never let it go. They archived everything. Every letter. Every scrap of rope. Every confession BTK ever sent. Then, in 2004, the 30th anniversary of the Otero murders, local news ran a retrospective. It woke something up. BTK saw it, and he couldn't resist. He started writing again. Letters began arriving at Cake TV and the Wichita Eagle. Envelopes stuffed with photos of the victims. Hand-drawn maps. Codes. Riddles. Evidence only the killer could have. He even included a Barbie doll, bound with rope, inside a cereal box. But this time he made a mistake. He asked police, "Can I send you a floppy disk, and trust you won't trace it?" The cops said yes. He sent it. What BTK didn't realize: every Microsoft Word file leaves a digital fingerprint. Metadata. The floppy disk revealed a username, Dennis. It had last been saved at Christ Lutheran Church. The church president's name? Dennis Rader. Investigators started digging. Rader matched the profile. Married. Kids. Lived in Park City. Worked as a compliance officer, a man obsessed with rules. Still, they needed hard proof. They quietly obtained a warrant for his daughter Carrie's medical records. She'd visited a college clinic years earlier. Her DNA was on file. They ran it. A partial match. It confirmed it. The BTK killer was her father. On February 25, 2005, police pulled Dennis Rader over during his lunch break. He didn't run. Didn't ask why. He already knew. In the interrogation room, he didn't deny a thing. He calmly confessed to 10 murders. Showed no remorse. Explained the bindings, the surveillance, how he'd stalked victims for weeks, even how he'd disguised his face. The monster Wichita had feared for decades had been living among them the entire time. A family man, a neighbor, a father. Dennis Rader, the BTK killer, had hidden in plain sight for 31 years. June 27, 2005. Inside a packed Wichita courtroom, Dennis Rader stood behind a microphone and confessed. One by one he recounted each murder. Not with regret. Not even with emotion. He spoke in a chilling, detached tone, like he was reading a grocery list. "I bound them," he said. "I strangled them. I took pictures." Each victim a memory to him. A trophy. A moment of power. 10 murders. 10 lives stolen. And behind each name, a family forever broken. The judge sentenced him to 10 consecutive life sentences, no possibility of parole. But for Carrie Rawson, her sentence had just begun. She didn't attend the trial. Couldn't bear it. The man who raised her, taught her how to ride a bike, helped her with homework, walked her down the aisle, was a sadistic killer. He had led 2 lives. One as her father, and one as a predator. For weeks she barely ate, couldn't sleep, woke up screaming from nightmares. Her entire life had been a lie. She questioned every memory, every trip, every smile. Had he killed someone, and come home to kiss her goodnight? The realization crushed her. She moved, changed her name, vanished from public life until 2014 when she resurfaced. This time with a voice. Carrie chose to speak out. She wrote a memoir, A Serial Killer's Daughter. In it, she tells the story of growing up with a man she thought was a protector only to learn he was a monster. She became an advocate for trauma survivors, victims' families, and children of criminals who carry the weight of someone else's crimes. But even as Dennis Rader rots in El Dorado Correctional Facility, the case still echoes. Some believe he may have killed more than 10. He once hinted there were more victims. Drawings, unconfirmed trophies, cryptic references in his letters. Cold case detectives are still reviewing unsolved murders in Kansas and Oklahoma cases that match BTK's style. And even in prison, he continues to communicate, sending letters to women, attempting to build relationships. He's under constant surveillance. But he remains manipulative, calculated. To this day, Carrie refuses to speak to him. She's written him, but only once. She told him what he took from her, and what she refused to let him keep, her soul. She says she still locks every door, double-checks the windows, because now she knows. Monsters don't live under the bed. Sometimes they live down the hall, in the bedroom across from yours, wearing a father's smile. The truth is out. The case is closed. But the damage? It echoes through every life he touched. And maybe, just maybe, not every secret has been unearthed. Dennis Rader wasn't a madman. That's the most terrifying part. He was organized, precise, calm. Criminal psychologists classify him as an organized lust killer with narcissistic and antisocial traits. He planned every detail from stalking routines to escape routes. He brought kill kits, drew diagrams, wrote manuals. It was ritualistic. He didn't just kill for pleasure. He killed for control, power over life, over death. He called it projects. His victims were assignments. What set Rader apart? The duality. By day, code enforcement officer, church president, Cub Scout leader, a family man. By night, BTK. Psychologists call this compartmentalization, the ability to divide one's mind into sealed chambers, suppressing guilt and empathy. Rader could strangle a woman, then help his daughter with algebra as if nothing happened. That split is rare, but not unheard of. Serial killers like Ted Bundy and John Wayne Gacy also lived double lives. But Rader's ran longer, smoother, undetected for over 30 years. And the damage wasn't limited to victims. His daughter, Carrie, shows symptoms consistent with complex PTSD, recurring nightmares, panic attacks, deep trust issues. But perhaps the cruelest psychological scar? She now doubts her own intuition. Because if the man who tucked her in at night could be a serial killer, who else might be hiding behind a smile? That's the psychological residue BTK left behind. Not just bodies, but broken identities. This wasn't just the story of a killer. It was the story of a daughter, of shattered trust, of a family torn between love and horror. Carrie Rawson didn't just survive the truth, she lived it. Every day, in silence, in flashbacks, in therapy rooms and empty nights. But she chose something most wouldn't: to face it, to speak it, to break the generational cycle of silence. And in doing so, she became more than BTK's daughter. She became her own name, her own legacy, and maybe a light for others trapped in the dark. Because sometimes evil hides behind ordinary doors, and survival begins with truth. This story shook you, it should. And there are more like it. Subscribe now because you won't want to miss what we found next. And tell us in the comments, do you think BTK told us everything? Or is there more, still hidden in the dark?